What up? What up? What up? What up? Share this live. Somebody tune in. Let me know how the audio sounding, if the audio working. Hopefully it's working well. It's a little different setup than usual. A little more relaxed. It's getting a little bit chillier out. Sitting at the table is a little bit more uncomfortable. So I'm gonna talk about a host of different items. I haven't been doing these lives very often. I'll talk about why I haven't been doing the lives often too. Hopefully the audio is working well. If somebody's listening, if the audio is not working, let me know in the comments. First thing I want to say is rest in power to Eddie Patterson and justice for Eddie Patterson. Eddie Patterson, who was murdered by Rockford Police Department officer Jamie Cox on this day. I'm not going to get into any of the specifics on the murder of Eddie Patterson. I just want to honor the memory of Eddie Patterson. I hope that Eddie Patterson's family have Eddie Patterson's families in my thoughts, and on my mind and in my heart at this time. And so rest in power to Eddie Patterson. Let's see. Today the memorials got taken down by City of Rockford workers, like the 12th or 13th time that they've torn down the memorials. There's no doubt in my mind that they specifically came to tear down the memorials this morning because it was the day that Eddie Patterson was killed. So, fuck them. And then I think I also want to say rest in power to Christopher Kramer, who was killed by the DeKalb police. Justice for Christopher Kramer, who was killed by the DeKalb police. My thoughts are also with his family. His funeral, his services were this week. So I want to say that as well. So separate from those things, let's talk about. We'll go in reverse order. So Wednesday they had an anti-mask, anti-vaccine rally protest that took place outside of the city hall in Rockford. We did not have any idea that this was going to happen. We were completely caught off guard and surprised by it. I had went to the Mobile up the street to do my morning routine, get some coffee, grab some blunts, warm up my bagel. And another member of the May 30th Alliance who happened to be who was at City Hall sent me a picture of somebody who we had previously seen at Back the Blue protest, and said that this person was here at City Hall. And then they also said that there was a person up at City Hall with the sign that said "My body, my choice." I want to say this too before we go deeper into this. Please don't take any of me laughing or maybe any sarcasm that I might make as me belittling anybody or me trying to insult anybody. It really is just how I talk and my personality, and I'm not going to try to go out of my way to edit it. I personally believe that the entirety of this event was funny and for multiple different reasons. What up? So, just want to lead with that. So when the message was sent, and I'm not in any groups, this is not to offend, this is not an offense to any groups. Okay, so when I seen the message that said on the poster, on the sign, it said this, my body, my choice. I'm thinking that, that it must be why it's a pro-choice rally? Why they at City Hall? How come they're at City Hall for a pro-choice rally? But then I remember that the anti-maskers were also using the "My Body, My Choice" line, like in a co-opting type of a way. I don't know if it's even. I mean, it is co-opting, but also I don't know how many people using it realize that. I don't know, but so once I realized that this was not a pro-choice rally, well, I guess they would call it a pro-choice rally too. But once I realized that this was not about, they weren't speaking about women having the right to choose with their body, that they were talking about masking. I was, it made more sense why they was out at City Hall. So, but I still didn't think that. I'm thinking that it's just one woman there, and I'm not thinking that it's, it wasn't really that many people there when nobody was there when I left. So I'm not really thinking too much of it. So I get at this point my bagel warmed up, my coffee ready, then got my blunts. So I'm walking back, and as I get closer to City Hall, I just see like a crowd of people with signs, and so I realized like, oh shit, they're like they having this is a full on, for Rockford at least, a full blown protest. They protesting here, and so like now I'm on high alert. I realize that it's a code red that we at a place where anything can happen. What I have personally seen. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a lot of communication with people who are anti-mask and anti-vax. Well, I've had a lot of interaction with people that are anti-vaccine. That's something that is a lot more common to interact with than anti-mask, people who are anti-mask. I haven't really dealt with too many people who are anti-mask. But what I have seen on the internet and social media, which is not always a good gauge for things, but again, this is just a generalization, is that these people usually tend to veer towards some racist ideologies as well, or at least some what will be close to racist ideology, some prejudice and stereotypical bias ideologies. And we all have our own prejudice and biases. But since I've seen that these were some of theirs, I'm knowing that, okay, ain't no time to eat the bagel or smoke the blunt. Anything could be popping off at this point. So I come over, I walk. I'm trying to, as I get closer to the people, and they got like a line at City Hall. I'm trying to decide: do I just walk right through the line to set the tone off back, like, like that? This is, But I'm like, nah. I seen some kids and shit, so I'm like, I'm just going. I ain't trying to build it. I ain't trying to just start off with this, real high tension. I ain't gonna cut through the line or nothing. So I just walk around them, come up here, to where we was posted up at. We posted up real far to the west side of City Hall. They posted closer to the east side of City Hall. I come talk to the other member of the May 30th Alliance that was up here. They fill me in on some of the things that I've missed. And so at this point, I feel as if they're occupying the occupation. But I also thought this too. This is what I thought. This is what I thought as well. Before I realized that they were occupying the occupation, my first thought was like, people gonna think that they fuck the police. They don't realize what's going on. They gonna come here. People gonna drive by, used to seeing us here, and they gonna think that they with us, that they don't fuck with the police. I was in for a rude awakening. That was not what happened. That's not what happened. Everybody who drove by knew exactly what they was here for, and it was lit. It was lit. All the semi trucks that was driving by was honking their horn. I don't think we maybe got like 2 semi truck honks in the entirety that we done been in the front, which is at this point like 250 plus days. 2 semis maybe done honked at us. And it's the same 2 black people who drive the semis. They had all the semi trucks honking at them. Pickup trucks coming by honking. police cars was coming by honking. They took over. They took City Hall. And so I'm like, and so once I start seeing that happen, I'm like, oh damn, we gotta figure out something. We gotta do something. So I had a camera. I had my phone, our phone, the May 30th Alliance phone, not my phone. Had the phone, had the microphone. I had seen an individual at the protest, like I said, who was at the Back the Blue rally and who we had previous interactions with. And one of the things that I have been actively trying to do with different people who we've had interactions with in the past, specifically during the protest that took place last year where people were either assaulted, falsely arrested, criminalized, whatever it is, speak to the people who were the true aggressors in these moments. People like Carla Red, people like Kurt Wisenhand, people like Stephen Edenburn, who was down here, and asked them multiple questions, but specifically, could you have done things differently? Could you have handled things differently? Kurt Wisenhand said yes, he could have handled things differently on May 30th. Carla Red said during the protest last year, yes, she could have handled things differently. And we got that on camera too, just so that's filmed. And so, shit, I was 2 for 2. I had a third person here. I was going for 3 for 3. So as me and him talked, it was imperative and important, not even just to be on camera, but just for historical reference and for factual basis for these different people who traumatized people, who assaulted people, who altered people's life trajectories last year, to admit that they could have done things differently. Of course, some of these people you will never get to apologize. And I'm not even looking for apologies, because that's something that's you need to have the apology with you and the specific person. You know what I'm saying? So there's no point in apologizing to me. But I want to hear these people say that, yes, they could have handled things differently, because it is a whole host of police officers that could have handled things differently. Now, the reason they didn't handle things differently is because institutionally that's not what they are bred to do. But it's still important that individually they acknowledge that individually they could have done things differently. And so it was important, too, that he acknowledged that. And so I got the mic, I got the camera mic, set it up, went out and started asking him questions and talking to him. Now, in the midst of talking to him, there were multiple moments, and I want to make sure there are multiple moments in which I turned the camera around or maybe I said something to the side in what was like a comedic manner, maybe like a joking manner. I don't want people to think that I believe that the issue that I was talking to him about was a joke, or that any of the answers that he said were a joke. But some of the things just naturally that you trying to, damn, how fast you gonna go into this? Some of the things that have happened out here have been comedic in the most literal definition in term of comedy. They have been comedic. The things that continue to happen have been comedic. Some of the things that have happened, it's either tragedy or comedy out here. That's it. It's either tragedy or comedy. And so either you gonna laugh or you gonna cry or you gonna laugh, but you gonna do one or the other. And that was one of them moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so to hear him say that he rescued the flag as opposed to saying that he stole the flag, that is comedy. That may be his perspective on how things happen. I can't change what somebody is saying their perspective is on how something happened. And again, I'm not saying it's funny. I'm saying that it's comedy. And again, that may be getting into too much specifics for certain people. But so anyways, as this is happening, one of the members of the May 30th Alliance that was up here begins to play music on the speaker. Now, as they're playing music on the speaker, there's a couple that comes. I think it's not really a couple, like a family. It's a man, a husband, and a wife, it seems, and they got a couple kids with them. And the husband got on sunglasses and like an army hat, and he ain't like the music. He just started flipping out like he had PTSD from rap music. And so he go right by me and Steven as we're talking, and I don't really know what he going behind me to do. But up to this point, you know, and this is a vulnerability, I guess, in my part. Up to this point, things have been a little contentious, but they wasn't, you know, nothing like compared to some of the other interactions we done had. So I honestly wasn't even thinking that this dude was finna go behind me and do some crazy ass shit, you know, or do nothing absurd. So I continued talking to Steven, interviewing Steven. And then all of a sudden, I see Steven's face. Steven's face looks shocked, like something crazy done happened. So then he start moving towards where the dude with the sunglasses and the hat just had went to. So I turn around and I see that dude is standing like face to face with one of the members of the May 30, with another member of the May 30 Alliance that was up here. And not that, and I get, and honestly, no, it is important for this, this specific seminar we talking about. This is a woman that he's standing face to face close with like this. You know, a black woman that he's standing close, you know, engaging in proximity in. Besides the fact, like on some real shit, I don't even know how it's like. How you gonna be at an anti-mask, anti-vax rally and then get in somebody's face? Like, get like that's damn near like I don't know. So me and Steven both going over there trying to yo, I'm like, back up. You know, the first thing I said to him, like, cause he, and you know, I don't like to be calling people, you know, using ad hominems attacks or nothing like that. But like, dude was on some weird ass shit, you know, off back. So the first thing I said to him, man, back your weird ass up. You know, and it's not nothing wrong with being weird, but you know, the type of weird, he was being a peculiar type of weird. And the other things, sometimes if the weirdness is associated with other things that can be seen as destructive, then it can be dangerous to be on some weird shit. So I'm like, man, back your weird ass up. He back up some, and then, you know, and he got his phone out pretending like he filming. I'm knowing he not really filming, because the way he holding the phone, like, just not conducive to getting no good film footage. And so, like, I guess he trying to, like, make fun of us for filming. You know, I don't know what that is. I done had a couple other, you know, and again, I keep it a buck. I done had a couple other white people who done did that same thing. I really don't get what that is. Like, if they making fun of us for filming, or they trying to say that, like, I can film too, or it's like a mocking thing. I don't know what it is, but it's weird as hell. So he doing that, and then his wife that is with him starts yelling. She has a sign that says Fauci believes in eugenics, and then she starts yelling to me, "We're here for you. Don't you know we're here for you? We're here for you. Fauci got kicked out of Africa." Fauci got kicked out of Africa. Now I want to. This is not in me in no way denying my African heritage or African ancestry. I love my African heritage, my African ancestry, and I'm actively trying to become more and more educated and informed about it. At the same time as trying to become educated and informed about things here as well. But just for a point of reference, I've never been to I ain't never been to Africa. And I'm not sure if the person who I was with had ever been to Africa either. So I'm not really sure why. Well, I know why she said it. But to me, it was just nuts. Like, it's just no context for it at all. And two, like, to say some shit like that, like, how can I not think that you racist, you know, after that? One of the first things I said to the white man who was up here with the sunglasses on, the weird shit, I was like, man, back your racist ass up. And he was like, how can you say that? How can you say that? And I'm like, what you mean, how can I say that? Your wife just said that Fauci got kicked out of Africa. I support you, Fauci got kicked out of Africa, because I'm black. Like, that's the only reason she said that nuts ass shit to me. She wouldn't say, now if it was a white man who was actually born in Africa, but his skin was white, or you know, in this country would be put into the class system or the caste system or the social construct of white, and he was actually from Africa, and he done like been from a continent, let's say he was born in Ghana, she wouldn't think to say to him, I'm doing this for you. Fauci got kicked out of Africa. So yes, I believe that you racist, and you and your wife are racist, and it manifested very quickly. And so the dude, pull around this time. He just yanks my cord out of my phone. He just yanks it, or out of the phone, just yanks it, cutting off the mic, cutting off the audio. I was appalled. I couldn't believe he had did that shit. And he it's a kid that's out. His kids is out here with him. His wife there. At this point, I'm starting to realize that he probably done had a couple of Miller highlights on the way down here, or something like that, because he don't got it's no emotion on his face at all. He just got a completely blank face. There's no emotion on his face. And so I'm like, okay, man, this man is a ticking time bomb. Let me get this mic plugged back in so that way I can try to, if he say some nuts ass shit and something crazy happen, I can have everything documented. So I get the mic plugged back in, end the live, start another live up, and then eventually his kids pull him to the side, and get him to leave or whatever, and him and his wife, go to the opposite corner. But one of the things that happened next would be damn, I can't remember his name, but one of the men who I believe was part of organizing it came there, arrived. Me and him spoke real briefly. That's on the live as well. And then from that point forward, I sort of filmed a few things here, there, and some other crazy ass shit happened that people said. People saying nut shit. And why? Let me say this too. I don't know why this is like the default argument, but please find something different, some type of different rebuttal. Please tell your racist family members or racist friends to find something different besides bringing up the South Side of Chicago or people shooting each other in Chicago. Man, I don't know how. Somebody just need to write a little. I'm just gonna write like little highlight notes on how all the violence that takes place in inner city communities around this country are all directly tied to police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. I don't know how else to say it. Like, if the country didn't want motherfuckers killing each other in the South Side of Chicago, it wouldn't be motherfuckers killing each other in the South Side of Chicago. If the country didn't want crack and heroin and guns and opioids all running through the streets, they wouldn't be in the streets. And so when people use that as some type of a baseline of an argument, it's just always real confusing. It's real confusing. Okay, but anyways, the man who organized it would come. It wouldn't be too much more things that would happen after that. I would have to end the live video. My hands was cold as hell. Feet was cold as hell. I need to smoke my blunt and drink my coffee, eat my bagel. And so I did all of those things. Around noon is when the rally here was scheduled to end. The rally would end. And then one of the organizer, I think Coach Mack, he would stick around. And me and him would then have a conversation for about 2 hours. Me and him had plenty of things that we disagreed, had a majority of things I'm sure that ideologically we disagreed on. But within those disagreements, there was also things that we could agree on. And so one of the main things was just that the importance of dialogue and conversations, and these are all things that I view and I put in a very high as a high priority. Anytime somebody come out here, and I shouldn't say anytime, because these days there's some motherfuckers where I'm just not finna talk with you. Like, if you come out here on some straight ignorant ass, my patience for certain things is real low. I got real low patience for bullshit right now. So there are some people who I'm not talking to. But for the most part, I do my best when somebody come down here, no matter what different vantage point they may be viewing things from, to have a conversation, because I think you can learn something and take something away from every conversation. So that's something that I actively do. So I do put that in a high priority. So me and him, we spoke for multiple hours. And also I want to say this: I respect and I'm getting a lot more to the point where I don't really care about nobody mistaking the things that I say, and I think that just sort of come with time. But also, like, I respect them coming out here. I respect people coming out here in the cold for however many hours, holding them signs. Because you know what? I know for a fact, if somebody was to get shot by the police right now, killed by the police, unless it's the the right person, it's a bunch of people who ain't gonna do nothing about it except for post on Facebook. They sure not finna come and hold no signs outside City Hall. And I know that because I done had my black ass outside City Hall along with a host of other people for about 400 days. And in them 400 days, multiple people done been shot. And it ain't been a whole bunch of people coming up here to hold no signs for them. Okay, now it's been about, we got about when when Faustin was murdered and Jose was shot on the same weekend, we put together a rally and a vigil, and our average was about 55, 60 people. That's a fact. And it was a little chilly out. It wasn't in the midst of the summer, but that's a fact. On a weekday, in the cold, in October, they had about 25, 30 people out here about masks and vaccines. So yes, I respect that. Do I agree with some of their stances? No, I don't agree with their stances. Do I agree with using some of the language that they use? No, the language is not the right word. I don't really care about that language. Do I disagree with the context of some of the things that they saying? Yes. I don't think that the statement, my body, my choice, should be being applied to masks and vaccines. I think that you can find, the same way I don't think you should have no Be Lives Matter signs. But we'll talk about that in a moment. But I think that my body, my choice, it has a very specific connotation to it. And I think that in respect of what that connotation is, it can be left away from the mask and the vaccine talk. But again, I'm also Mr. Fuck the Police, and some people don't like, hearing fuck the police. So I feel them if they be like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like that. I still, I respect that as well. But I think more than anything is that these people, and this is something that I've had to contrast, is that right, and for this specific thing that we talking about, is two types of people. It's the people that know what the issue is, are informed about the issue, any issue, know what the issue is, are informed about the issue, but they are not going to do anything about it. They are going to continue to live in their convenience and continue to live in their comfort, continue to live in their safety, continue to be informed and educated about the issue, and that's it. And then you have people who may not be as informed or may not be as educated on the issue or as learned on the issue or whatever the issue is, but they gonna get their ass out there and do something. They trying to get active. They'll get active no matter rain, snow, sleet, or hail. And so we sitting in and so when you think about January 6th, for example, what the people was out there on January 6th at the Capitol, I don't agree with though. I don't agree with the basis, the underlying basis of what they was out there on, right? But I do agree that this country deserves that, what they was out there doing. That's the least of what this country deserves. I do believe that they had that you have a right to petition your government, and you have they had a right to be outside of there like that. Now they got inside of there and did some other shit because the police was working with them. That's what happened when you got people on the inside working with you. You can turn up a little bit more. But that's besides them people being out there and being upset and airing out their grievances with this country. They were 100% within their right, because that's the truth of what this country is. People that's poor in this country, they poor because of this country. People that's underemployed, unemployed in this country, they underemployed, unemployed in this country because of this country. Addiction issues, mental health issues, health insurance, pharmaceutical. It's all types of evils and corruptions and sins, or whatever words you want to specifically use, that this country has sowed. And whenever it reaps it, it is not only is it not a surprise, it is not something that I'm offended by. It's not something that I'm upset about. Man, you reap what you sow. But people out here not trusting the government about these mask mandates and about the vaccine mandates because this government untrustworthy. It ain't no way to educate and properly inform somebody about being black in this country, and then at the end of it, they trust anything that this country say or do. It ain't no way. And so, I feel them not trusting the country, the government. Man, I don't trust these motherfuckers neither. Now, it's different. Now, it manifests in different ways for me than it manifests for you. It's some people who mad because they think they gonna have to they gonna force people to show they cards to show that they prove that they vaccinated, and they upset about that. Man, listen, I done got handcuffed for not showing my ID to a police officer. Handcuffed and arrested because I ain't show my ID to a police officer. So shit, I've been with the place, that dystopian, place you talking about. I've been there. We been there. It ain't nothing that I'm a black man. I done watched, known people who they gotta cut their hair. They can't have their hair a certain way to work at the place they at, or the policy where they work at the place they work at then change their policy. Now they can't have the kind of hair that they got. The whole bar structure in this, specifically in this city, is set up to keep black people from being able to go in there. So it ain't you preaching to the choir if you out here talking to me about institutions and organizations and businesses discriminating. Now the shit you talking about discriminating about is some different shit. You know what I'm saying? You out here, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But I understand the baseline of what you talking about, yeah. And so, and just as much as we need more people to be informed and more people to be educated about police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice, and how those things can be directly tied to all the institutional things that plague us now, we also need people that's willing to put their feet to the ground. We also need people that's willing to put boots on the ground. The same way that these anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers is out here putting feet to the ground and boots to the ground. The same way that these Trumpers is out here putting feet to the ground and boots to the ground. Or the Proud Boys in the far right is out here putting feet to the ground and boots to the ground. They letting you know where it's at. And we also and so then, so anyways, me and him talked for a couple hours. At the end of it, he asked to take a picture. I was cool. We take a picture. We outside of City Hall. And most importantly, I just want to verbalize this. I ain't gonna stunt. I have no idea who this man was before this day. Based off the amount of people that was here, and based off how things are going in the trajectory with the mask and the vaccines. And this is not no type of disrespect or nothing like that. I'm keeping it a buck. This man is not operating from a heavy amount of power in the city. Okay, so I'll take a picture. There's nothing you can use this picture for except to inform people that we spoke and we talked and we had and I'm not hiding that we spoke or we talked. I am not a Democrat. I'm not no liberal. Man. The people who have been directly the most responsible for the traumas and the gross injustices and the egregious acts that I've dealt with and we have dealt with out here been Democrats and liberals and neoliberals, not Republicans and conservatives. If we talking on a political landscape, so if it's somebody I got the most gripe with, it's with them. Yeah, I ain't got no problem taking a picture. Now he post a picture, and too, if you know the context of what happened, the picture is kind of funny. It's funny from how the whole event started to how the whole event ended. It's funny. And so he would post a picture though the next day, and what up? He post a picture the next day, and everything he said in this caption on the picture was correct, until the last two lines, like last two sentences, where he sort of threw in a what would be, I would deem, an ideological belief that it not really connected with the picture. But I'm not upset about that or bothered by that. It's not. I don't think that is. I ain't gonna have no type of gripe about that. That's how social media work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put something up and you make the caption relevant to who you are, you know, and so that's where he stand on that specific thing. He decided to put that in there. That him putting that in there is not going to does not make that my belief or my standpoint. And me and him did have a part of our conversation did touch on that that item. It was about bathrooms in the public schools putting tampons in the men's bathrooms in public, or boys' bathrooms in public schools, for $20 million or a certain amount of money that the school system got paid to put tampons in the boys' public bathroom. Again, this would be in an effort I would assume, and I'm not knowledgeable about this, assume for trans students to be able to have accessible to them. When me and him was talking, the statement that I made to him was that $20 million. The statement he made to me was first that they were spending $20 million to do it. I was blew away that was $20 million was going to that. That seemed like a lot of money for this specific thing. And that wouldn't have, if they was using $20 million to put doors on it. No, I don't want to say doors. I don't want to belittle what he's telling me that, and I don't even know that they're actually using 20. That's why this is nuts, because I don't even know any of this to be factual. But I was not belittling, or I don't want to belittle what the money is being put to use for. The thing that I thought was surprising was the amount of money in the school system, in a racist school system that miseducates black children from any walk of life, straight or a member, or trans, straight, a member of the LGBTQ plus community. It don't matter. You black, they out here misinforming you, miseducating you. I was surprised that $20 million would be going to that in the school system, that it needs to be working on its education and its curriculum and its the type of teachers that it employs, and the type of school buildings that them children is in, and the conditions that they go to school in. They ain't even got enough damn bus drivers. You need to get enough bus drivers. But again, I don't even know none of this to be factual. But this was one of the things that was in the conversation. He would put his opinion on the tampons being put into the student bathrooms in the up with the picture. So I just want to make sure I clarify that I do not have any permanent or real stance on that, because I am not informed about that. Okay. But I also believe that this man has the right to post the caption at the bottom of his picture if that's what he want to do in the picture. Does not make his statement my belief or ideology. Okay, let's see. All right, so that's all I really got for that day. Let's go back a couple days before that, is when there has been something going on with the prairie. The same thing. I don't want to be belittling any other things that people are doing. I just can't stress enough how I believe all of these issues directly tie into really white supremacy, which is what police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice falls under, if we're making it a bigger thing. But how all of these issues can really be absolved and really can be pointed out by highlighting police terrorism, mass incarceration, and racial injustice. But so anyways, it's a prairie that they was going to knock down or destroy to put the airport up. The people who have been advocating for the prairie to not be knocked down and destroyed, for the airport to go up, won the battle that they was in for it and got to stay. So in a celebratory manner, they had a gathering, I believe, and then from the gathering, they marched down to City Hall. In the marching down to City Hall and the gathering, there was an individual. Yeah. I'll take one. Good looking. Back, good looking. My fault. I ain't see you. I got this live going. My fault. Uh, in the midst of this, march happening. No, black. I take it black. In the midst of this march happening, what? Hold on one second. My fault. I had to switch hand warmers. My hands cold as hell. Okay, so in the midst of this march happened, somebody would march up to City Hall with a Be Lives Matter sign. Now, I know for some people, 2 years ago, I wouldn't understand why somebody would be offended by the Be Lives Matter sign because I was not informed or educated about these things. But the same way, I don't think you should be using my body, my choice with masks and vaccines. I don't believe for insects you should be using Black Lives Matter, doing a play on words for Black Lives Matter. I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping racial injustice at the forefront of your consciousness when you are involved in any movement building in this city, in this county, in this state, in this country is. Because if you are advocating for anything in this nation, in this country, and you are not aware of the ways in which racism penetrate every aspect of our society, you are setting yourself up for failure. And that is a fact. That is a fact. The Black liberation struggle has been the quintessential and the dominant and the vanguard struggle in this country since its inception. Since its inception, there has not been a single thing that has been advanced in this country, in this society, that has not been advanced in some type of connection to the Black liberation struggle. And just so that we are on the same page about this, the Black liberation struggle encompasses all walks of Black existence in this society. It encompasses Black women. It encompasses Black members of the LGBTQIA plus community. It encompasses Black members of Black poor, Black working class, Black people with any type of mental disabilities, whatever it is that you can exist as while being Black in this society. That specific liberation has been at the forefront of all other advancements. So that has to be remembered. When these uprisings take place and have taken place in this last decade, it has been high at the cost of Black life, at the cost of the life of people of color. And that's the other thing, too, that I think that, and I'm trying to really understand how to articulate this the right way myself as well, but I don't think people understand even just the proximity to Blackness, what it means to have a proximity to Blackness. People of color have had just their proximity to Blackness has led them to be in positions in which they have to struggle, because if a Black person or Black people are removed from the equation, whoever is the next closest, darkest person of color in that equation is who bears the brunt. And so you black now, motherfucker. And the same thing happened if you just remove all people of color. Then if you poor, you Black. It's a bunch of poor white people sitting inside the jail right now that might as well be Black. They ain't got enough money to not be Black. the things that they dealing with 50, 60, 70 years ago was more relegated only to black people. So you poor, now you black. Or it's people who done spent their life thinking that the police is one thing, or jails, or all these different things working a certain way, when black people know the truth. And then you come face to face with the institutional issue or whatever, and now you black. So I think that's just something important to point out. So they came up here with a Be Lives Matter sign. Somebody came up here with a Be Lives Matter sign, which means that they're unaware of the importance that the struggle for black lives has when it comes to any type of struggle going on in this country. I wasn't here when they came marching with the signs. I was somewhere else. The members of the May 30th Alliance had no interaction or no conversation with any of the people that was up here when they came, but a post was made online, and when the post went up online, one of the things, and this is, I seen all this secondhand. I'm banned on Facebook, so I ain't really been using Facebook like that, and I ain't really been going live like that. Really getting banned from Facebook to fuck my energy. Facebook is a real fucked up ass place. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. But we do need this platform, so, but still, fuck dude. But anyways, I didn't see the post. I didn't make no comments or nothing like that in the post. But the post would go up. There would be some comments back and forth. I believe in the Prairie Group page, there's been some dialogue about this as well. And so I don't agree with this person coming up here with this Be Lives Matter sign. I think that it's offensive. I think that this person made a Mr. Oh, damn, it's a big one. It's just me. Oh, damn. I'll be able to eat it, though. Sit right here. I'm hungry enough. I eat it. Yeah. Thank you.
There's peppers in there.
Okay, thank you.
Cheese.
Okay, thank you.
Stay warm.
Thank you. I will. It's good to see you. Bye. Have a good night. And so, but I also am not condemning this person because they had a Be Lives Matter sign. I'm not like trying to shame this person or I know the I seen Aaron Rodgers interview today. I don't want to cancel this person or nothing like that. I do want to know, does somebody have trademarks out on the woke mob? I want to start calling May 30th Alliance, aka the woke mob. But anyways, I'm not trying to cancel this person because of their Be Lives Matter sign. However, I do think that it's obvious that there's still a lot further to go with informing and educating not only people that disagree with some of our stances, but even people who may think that they agree with our stances. Because I do believe that this person and these people who came up here with well-intentioned and with good intentions, the same way I'm not condemning the anti-maskers or anti-vaxxers. I'm not condemning anybody, any people. In Rockford, we too early on in the struggle to just be condemning people flat out. But I do think that people have to be called out for their beliefs and their actions and their statements. And I get called out for my beliefs and my actions and my statements. So I'm not asking for something for other people that I don't think I also deal with, or I'm not also willing to deal with. So let's see what else done happened. So Christopher Kramer was killed in DeKalb. So let's go back a little bit further. So last Monday, Christopher Kramer was killed by DeKalb police. I don't even know if the name of this police officer has been put out. We've had some small contact with Christopher Kramer's family, loved ones, people close to him. We trying to still actively have more. If anybody is in contact with any of his family, inbox us, message us. Our thoughts, like I said, our thoughts are with them. We had the GoFundMe for his funeral expenses up, pinned to the page. We only unpinned it once it had met the goal. I hope that we could have helped contribute to that somewhat. We want to continue to raise awareness to what happened to him. Since it did happen in Winnebago County, It's really hard for us to have actions around it, or it's hard for us even to put a memorial up on the poles because of the fact that it didn't happen in this area. What we've been trying to do has been very true to this area, or distinct to this area, specific to this area. However, what happens in Northern Illinois happens here. It'd be no different. I mean, there's a conversation to be had that says we only worry about Rockford. If somebody got killed in Rockford, okay, we bring awareness to them. But then when you think about Rockford being part of Winnebago County Sheriff deputies patrol here. People go to the Winnebago County Jail. People say that the county board is more powerful than city council. The county board chairman is more powerful than the mayor. These are things that people say. So these are things that people have said. People say that has a different connotation to it. You say, okay, let's extrapolate this out to Winnebago County. The people who investigate shootings is the Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force. So, we extrapolated things out to Winnebago County, and there's an honest and genuine way to articulate why it's important to do that. I think that the same thing works and goes to be said for just Northern Illinois. He got killed in DeKalb in Northern Illinois. We should be focusing on everything that happens in Northern Illinois. Unfortunately, we don't have enough people to do that. We didn't have enough when Faustin and Jose were Faustin was murdered, Jose was shot. We didn't have enough people to maintain doing the action at the Winnebago County Board. That's just a factual statement about where we are currently at with this. We don't have enough people to do anything that is not directly aimed towards the city of Rockford and the city of Rockford government, and the Rockford Police Department. Do I think that one day we will? I do think one day we will. I think that we're here playing a waiting game. We know the police gonna shoot somebody again, kill somebody again, beat the shit out of somebody again, tase somebody to death again, let somebody die in their jail again, kill somebody in their jail again, somebody's gonna die because of high-speed pursuits again. Daily, they're falsely imprisoning people. Police officers have child pornography on their phones, sexually assaulting people, assaulting their wives, beating their children, raping citizens, molesting citizens. These are all things that have been documented in the 400 days that we've been out here. Those are all things that have either happened, or there are people, officers dealing with cases from those things that have happened currently. So we know these things are going to happen again and manifest again. That has been something that has been difficult for me to get to a point to be able to accept and even state like that, because it feels desensitized to be able to say it, but it is a fact of the nature. Somebody's brother is going to get killed by a police officer we've been here for 400 days. In the next 400 days, somebody's daughter is going to be raped by a police officer in the next 400 days, or sexually assaulted by a police officer in the next 400 days. Somebody's mother is going to be beat by a police officer in the next 400 days. So it's our job to keep track of as many of these things that we can, to give voice to as many of these things as we can, to give a platform to as many of these things as we can, with the understanding that whether it's here locally or whether it is nationally, that there will be multiple, not just one, but there will be multiple more waves of outrage, waves of outcry, waves of outpour. Kyle Rittenhouse ain't going to prison, not guilty. A man who killed Ahmaud Arbery down in Georgia, you think they going to prison? No, not guilty. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't even want to say hope I'm wrong, because really them going to being found guilty is not truly justice, and not, because justice begins when you ensure the way Ahmaud Arbery was murdered does not happen again. When you begin to try to restore the Arbery family, when you are honest and transparent about why in Georgia it's not a surprise for a black man to be lynched while he is jogging. The same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. It ain't no way to give no justice around the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, because the Kyle Rittenhouse situation stems from Jacob Blake being shot point blank in his back while he was walking away from the officer. And the police officer that shot Jacob Blake point blank in the back is out patrolling in Kenosha right now. So it ain't no justice to be given in the Jacob Blake, in the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. But because of the type of system that is set up, because I know that people's families will view this as relief, as helpful for them to try to move past what has happened, because too often people who are black have had the heavy brunt of the law and have had no justice given to them, like is what Ahmaud Arbery's case is, or people who are have went to protest, have been killed, and demonstrations have been killed historically. Because I understand the way the pendulum has swung on that side, if they gonna lock them up and throw away the key, if that make that people family feel better, then that's where we at right now. But that is not the end solution. We have to have it's going to have to be something more than just that. But either way, it's unlikely that they all going to jail, that they all going to prison. So there will be another wave of outrage and outpour and outcry, and somebody's 14-year-old black son, 15-year-old black daughter, 29-year-old black wife, 34-year-old black teacher walking around right now, and it's a police officer with a bullet with their name on it. It's a police officer with taser with their name on it. It's a police officer with a knee with their name on it. It's written. The thing that we have to decide as a people is, what are we going to do in the meantime before that happens to make sure that when that happens again, that we make sure that we are getting closer to it happening less and not closer to it happening more? What are we going to do so that way when the next person, George Floyd, when the next Tamir Rice, when the next Trayvon Martin, the next Eddie Patterson, the next Logan Bell, the next Kerry Blake happen, that we are getting closer to having less of them happen? When the next one happen, what are you going to do to make sure that we closer to having less of them happen when it take place than getting us closer to having more of them happening? Because let me tell you this, if you're not going get out in the streets, if you're not going do more than just sitting at home on your phone or on the couch, if you're not going to do more than that, then what you doing is making sure that when it do happen again, that you getting closer to more of them happening. But if what you begin to do is get yourself prepared in the mindset that when this happened the next time, I'm gonna be present, I'm gonna be a body in the streets, I'm gonna be active, then what you was doing is getting us closer to it happening less. And that's specifically talking to basically people that's like I don't know, maybe 25 and older mindset. But the folks that's like 24 and younger, those specific people, I just want those people to I don't know. Well, I guess you like 25 when your brain, they say your brain, your brain not still like evolving or something like that. But those people specifically, they just need to be observant. The 15-year-olds, the 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old, 12-year, 11, I just want them observing. Just watch. Just watch. As long as you observing, you're going to get to a place when you 17, 18, 19, 20. Once you start getting, you ain't going to, they not going to go. See, because it's a generation at 25 and up that's here that's accustomed to going. But they're accustomed to being walked on, to having they backs ridden on, accustomed to oppression, accustomed to injustice, accustomed to exploitation. It's been normalized and it's they cool with it. But it's a set of people that can be relearned and retaught. Good looking, cuz. Good looking, my nigga. What up? How you feeling, bro? Man, how you feeling? Man, I'm just on here chopping it up, I'm wrapping this little last piece up, man. Oh yeah, you already know, man. You know, it's so it's a set of people, it's a set of teenagers and these kids who they're gonna grow up with the memories of what happened last year, with the memories of what happened in Ferguson. They're gonna grow up with seeing on the news regularly all these different actions and all these different things happening after people being killed by the police or falsely arrested and falsely imprisoned by the police, and they not gonna go for these things. And I think that that's one of the things that we forget so often, is that history truly does repeat itself. You can go back and watch this. That's 20, 30, 40, 50 years. History repeats itself. And if you don't correct things in the past, they manifest again in the present. And so what if, as long as the thing that led to last year continues to be present in our society, it will be another 2020. The same way after Ferguson in 2014, it was going to be another. Same way after in 1992 in LA, it was going to be another LA. The same way after Watts, it was going to be another Watts. In Chicago, it was going to be another Chicago. It will continue to be more. And just the same way here in Rockford, Illinois. Hold on. The same way here in Rockford, Illinois, there will be another May 30th if you don't address the things that led to May 30th happening. There will be another Back the Blue counter protest rally if you don't address the things that brought people out at the Back the Blue rally. If you don't address those type of people who organized that and put that together. And the same thing with City Market. City Market will have that same type of wave and ebb and flow to it as long as this city is not trying to address the things that lead to that happening. And then here you go, cuz I just. And so if that's the main thing that has to be at the forefront of people's consciousness here and at the forefront of people's mind here, is that it's all good for us to be prognosticating and talking and teaching and educating while we in the downtime, because that's what this is. And it's unfortunate to say this, because it's people whose families, if I'm Denzel Duvant family, it's never going to be a downtime. Tyrus Jones family, never a downtime. Faustin Guay Tigo, Lil Mike Sago, I don't care how long. If you kill my child, you kill my brother, you kill my father, my mother, it's never no downtime. It is no peace times for them. But for the people who have not, for the people who actively involved in struggling for these things, who have not dealt with these things firsthand, when one of these things have not manifested right now, it's a downtime. Right now, it's a peacetime. And so it's fine to talk and to teach in these moments and to be on social media and to watch documentaries and to try to brainstorm and organize and all of those things in these moments. But when Denzel Duvant is assaulted again, when somebody is shot again, when somebody is falsely imprisoned again, whether it be here or whether it be anywhere else, that's when it's no longer those peace times again. And we have to get into a place and we have to begin to set things in action where when that happened, we have a plan of action, and we have things that we are willing to do, and everybody has a place that they're willing to be at, and they have a place, the thing that they're willing to contribute. And that's all that we are actively doing out here, and that's why we staying here again through this winter. That's why we staying here again through these extents. And I want to make sure I'm saying this too. I don't want nobody to think that I'm out here like Gandhi. Like, we take shifts. Different people take shifts. Different people here at different times. It's times where I might only be out here for 6 hours during a certain day, and other people out here longer. It's times where I'm out. I get a 20 hours in or 24 hours in. So it's not me as some type of a martyr dealing with this. And if I need to, I have a warm place to sleep and bed to sleep in and warm food to eat. It's people I see every day who out here living in these conditions for real, and that's not at all what I'm dealing with or what I'm experiencing. And so I don't want nobody thinking that this is about me or this is about any of us individually out here and we dealing with, and you got to have some type of pity for us. No, that's not what this is about. It's about making sure that people, it's never forgotten again. And what's going to happen is that, again, it'll be another manifestation of this issue at a global level, at a national level. And instead of Rockford having to catch up or Rockford having to be behind in this, what's going to happen is we're going to have been outside here for 500 days or 600 days. Or 2 years or whatever it is, and we're going to be able to say, yes, and not only do these things happen here in Rockford, but these are the things that didn't happen in the meantime. And so this phone on like 5% is finna die. I don't want it to die because I gotta I gotta watch this basketball game on here a little bit later. And so, like, and the same thing. Look, I'm watching basketball games and football games. Man, Aaron Rodgers got me sick. He been talking nuts. He got me sick. But, but so I don't want people thinking that I'm not a martyr. None of us are martyrs. We are all 100% taking on this sacrifice willingly and comfortably. I got a sleeping bag, all types of blankets. There's somebody in the house right now that's colder than I am. So I done been in that house before and been colder than this. So I don't want nobody thinking that that's what's going on. So share this live. I'm going to start trying to do these lives more often. I ain't going to stunt. Facebook done like fucked up our like blocked us or some shit and done did some shit fucking up the algorithms. Our videos is getting so many less plays. I'm banned on Facebook right now for the last 7 days. I've been having a real battle with Facebook. I've been on some fuck Facebook shit. That's why I ain't really been doing these lives as much. And also it's just been trying to acclimate to this weather again, been taking a mental taxation. But I'm gonna try to start doing these lives again more often. And the podcast, Rock for Reading, still come out daily, 30 minutes a day. You won't need to listen to all of them. Just listen to one every now and then. Make sure you get some reading in for the week. We talk about what we reading through there. So the podcast still coming out regularly. And I'm going to get back to doing these lives more regularly. All right. Y'all be safe. Want to say rest in power to Mikey Guzman, rest in power to Lil Mike Sago, rest in power to Joseph McCormick, rest in power to Shannon Graves, rest in power to Faustin Guaitigo, rest in power to Philip Johnson, rest in power to Jasper Banks, rest in power to Suzette Babler, rest in power to Logan Bell, rest in power to Kerry Blake, rest in power to Mark Barmore, rest in power to Demetrius Bennett, rest in power to Geno Washington, rest in power to Jovan Fresco, and I want to send a special, heartfelt rest in power to Eddie Patterson, who was killed on this day. And I want to say justice for Eddie Patterson, and I want to tell Eddie Patterson's family that y'all in our thoughts, y'all in our hearts, our prayers, are on our minds. And Eddie Patterson is a champion for the struggle. All right, we gonna work to make sure it's less Eddie Pattersons. We outside.